Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. Okay, so we were talking about Apei Telata, which is the license to repeat over information that was said over in front of three people. However, we've been going through different qualifications which seem to exclude the rule. So he's going to give number 6 now. B'chol zeh shedibarnu, everything that we said, hu mitzad isur ha'amira be'atzmo, pertains to whether it is prohibited to report or repeat itself, be'atzmo, meaning itself exactly as it was said by Reuven. Aval chas v'shalom, God forbid, le'osif afilu teva hat, if Levi chooses to add another line of his to the report, or lehat'im et hadavar bifnei hashomea, or to enhance the matter, to make it more mat'im for the listener. Lomar she'ama'aseh shenishma Shimon, by saying, for example, that the story Reuven said about Shimon, Yafeh nishma alav, was very fitting because Shimon is that type of guy. He added that sentence, V'kayotze bazeh, or something similar to that. Ze vadai asu bechol gavne. This is certainly forbidden in all circumstances. Dehu mekalkel oto bidvarav, because Levi is actually damaging Shimon. He's harming him with these added words. Yoter mima shaya nishma alav lebasof me'atzmo, more than the original report that would have circulated on its own. Af al pi hasevara de'apei telata. Though there was already apei telata, this is making it worse. Ve'od, more than that, debazeh muchach shemekabel davar ze le'emet. By doing so, Levi is basically announcing to everyone, he makes it clear that he believes the report to be true because he's adding more things. And this is forbidden to all, to everyone, all opinions in all circumstances. As we'll explain later on in Klal number 7, Sif Aleph. Now, therefore, we have to be very careful about speaking about past deeds of a person. Even if it's known that Shimon did something when he was young, and it's well known, when he was young, this guy was the worst kid in class. This guy, when he was young, what he used to do on the streets. It's known. So long as that right now he's behaving. If Shimon is behaving now and he's well conducting himself properly, then you can't talk about his past. Also, you can't speak negatively about Shimon's family history, where it's well known that they didn't conduct themselves properly. Oh, Shimon's family, the Bergmans. Oh, I don't want to talk about the Bergmans. Again, as long as Shimon is not following those ways. In all such cases where the matter of the wrongdoings of Shimon or his family does not reflect on what he's doing now, because now Shimon is a good guy. You're not allowed to disparage or disgrace Shimon by mentioning this to his friends. And anyone that violates this and decides that he wants to tell other people, even if Shimon is not present, and your intent is to embarrass Shimon in the eyes of his fellow Jews, even if he doesn't embellish the truth, the fact is that Shimon now is a good guy, and you are relating truth to what he used to do 20 years ago. He is categorized as a person in the class of Lashon Hara speakers. So bad are those group. These are individuals that do not merit to receive the the Shekhinah. כמו שכתב בשערי תשובה מאמר ר"ד, as Rabbeinu Yonah writes in שערי תשובה. ולא שייך על זה כלל התרה דאפתלתה. And the apetlata license cannot be applied in such a case whatsoever. אף שדבר זה מפורסם בפי כל, even though the information is widely known, אחרי שעל פי אמת אין עליו שום גנאי בזה. Because Shimon doesn't deserve any disgrace just because of his past behaviors or because of his forefathers' behavior. כמו שכתב ביחזקאל י"ח, as it's written in the book of יחזקאל, בן לא יישא בעוון האב, כל פשעיו אשר עשה לא ייזכרו. A son will not be held accountable for the sin of the father. All the intentional sins he committed will not be remembered. והוא עושהו עבור זה ללעג בפי הבריות. And when you speak about Shimon this way, you're rendering him as an item for public ridicule because of his past, and that's forbidden to do so. Okay, that was number 6. Number 7 says. You should also know that the entire license of apetlata applies only with respect to allowing Levi, the speaker, okay, to repeat the information to Yehuda. Aval mitzad hashomea, when it comes to Yehuda is the listener. He's hearing it from Levi. He only has permission to hear the report, but he cannot believe it or accept it as fact. Dehainu, imhu yodea et teva hashomea. That is, if Levi knows that the nature of Yehuda, shetechef shehishma, that immediately upon hearing what this information about Shimon, yekabel davar ze leemet al Shimon, he's going to accept this negative information. V'yuchal liot sheosif od dvarim lignai alav, and it might well be that he would add other comments about Shimon. Le'adam kazeh asur lomar shum remez shel gnai al chavero bechol gavne. It's forbidden for Levi under any circumstances to repeat to such a person even the slightest negative information about Shimon. Ve'amesaper lo, and if Levi does do it, over alifnei iver lo titen michshol, he will transgress the averam of do not place a stumbling block in front of the blind. As we explained in the introduction at length with regards to this prohibition, ayem cham, see over there. Okay, so again, although Levi heard the information that was said in presence of 3 people, which technically gives him permission to repeat it, by repeating to someone who's going to violate the law, because he's going to believe the report as true and might embellish it, that is therefore Levi is not allowed to repeat it. Everything that we said now, in this klal with that is prohibited. It's prohibited for Levi to repeat the information about Shimon, even if he does not mention. He doesn't mention the original speaker, which would be Reuven, in the presence of 3 listeners. So even if he just leaves Reuven out, it's still not allowed. Rather, even if Levi said that such and such was said about Shimon, it's forbidden if any of the above situations that we said disqualify the apet lata. And therefore, he says the obvious here. After all these things, that all the qualifications of apet lata, he's going to say, after everything we learned, take note, my brother. Distance yourself from this leniency. Don't even consider it a leniency. For there's hardly a case where it actually applies. And even if all the conditions were fulfilled, you would have to study more to see whether the halacha actually follows the lenient opinion of the Rambam, okay, who explains that, remember, it was only him out of the 5 who said that apet lata means you just said it in front of 3 people. Because according to many authorities, there's no source for this leniency altogether in the Gemara. And like we wrote in Ber Mayim Chaim, Lachen hasomer nafsho yirchak mizeh. Someone who is concerned about his spiritual welfare should distance himself from relying on this leniency. Okay.
Can you remind me how the Rambam gets his source?
Let's go way back here. That's how he explained. Let's see where it is. Here it is. Rambam Hilchot Deot, Perek 7, Halacha Hey. Again, the Apei Tlata is, if Reuven said Lashon Hara about Shimon in the presence of three listeners, it is permitted for the listeners to repeat the Lashon Hara. Once three people heard the derogatory statement, it's deemed public knowledge, and therefore can be repeated. So everything that he's been saying till now, all these laws, what he said in this last paragraph, is that assuming you're basing that the Apei Tlata is how the Rambam describes Apei Tlata.
My question is,
right?
Where does the Rambam get his source?
Oh, I don't. That's how he. That's. That's how he gets. I don't know where he gets his source. But again, what he said over here, there's four other Rishonim, Tosafot, Rashbam, Rashi, Rabbeinu Yonah, who said that that's not even the meaning of Apei Tlata.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, but you can ask the same question about the other ones as well. Where do they get? It's how you define Apei Tlata. Each one had their own the Rishonim. That was their job to define. What was said or what was written in the Gemara. Again, remember, it's all based on the Gemara. The Gemara tells us in Baba Batra, any matter stated. Yeah. Okay. But I'm asking, where there's a Gemara. The Gemara Baba Batra Lametet says that we said this, that any information that was said in front of three people, okay, is not subject to Lashon Hara. So now, how do you define that statement? The Rambam says, he takes it most literally, and others say, no, not necessarily, it's most literally, but he was following the interpretation of the Rambam, and that's why he concludes that it could be that maybe Allah is not like the Rambam, and therefore you should stay far away from this. Okay, we'll stop here, Be'ezrat Hashem, and we'll continue tomorrow.